the bell button and smash the like button. I started this video with another video talking about the fact that we have a lot of planets in retrograde. We have Neptune, Saturn, Mercury, and I think others, but I want to go ahead and discuss. Here we go. Boom. Okay, so I just went ahead and researched it up. I'm going to do a little chat GPT thing. So we've got currently, we have Neptune, Saturn, and Mercury in retrograde. I know, seems like nothing, but bitch, that is a lot, okay? So I'm going to look and see what those alignments or planetary shifts will do to us. And I know, first off, I want to check in with you guys, see how you're doing, how you're faring with all of this going on. Let me know in the comments, you know, have you been keeping your composure? You know, have you been learning how to communicate effectively, or learning why things are triggering you? Because that's probably some of the things that we should be doing. So let's go ahead and take a look. Here's a clear overview of which planets are currently in retrograde as of late July 2025. So the planets in retrograde late July 2025. So we have, oh look, see, even more details. So we have Neptune is in retrograde from July to December, transiting from Aries to Pisces. Volatility is all I can think, okay? July to November, we have Saturn in retrograde, starting in Aries, then shifting into Pisces around September, which to me, once again, and I mean emotionally, I feel as though this is like an emotional shift here that could definitely be happening with this alignment here. We have the Mercury in retrograde from July 18th to August 11th in Leo. Okay, so wow. We also have Chiron in retrograde from July 30th to January 2nd in Aries. Then we have Pluto in retrograde from May 4th to October 13th in Aquarius. So we've got a lot of alignments, okay? So these retrogrades form a powerful cluster of inward-facing planetary energies that astronomers often nickname a retrograde parade. Oh, so we're in a retrograde parade basically right now, okay? And the thing it says inward-facing planetary energies makes me wonder if all of these alignments, these planetary alignments, are literally set up for us to turn everything inwards, for us to really look inwards and really, you know, make change as a collective. So we're going to discover what that's all about with further research here on my page here, okay? So don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, smash the like button, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell so you can get notifications every time I upload a new video. Here we talk about spiritual things, law of attraction, law of assumption, tarot, astrology, our spiritual capabilities, how to use them, all of those good things. Basically, everything spiritual, not religious. On this channel, we often get into, discuss, and talk about, you know, for the collective audiences. So let's move forward. Collective impact of these retrogrades. So Mercury retrograde in Leo, July 18th to August 11th, highlights communication, creative projects, and self-expression. I like that. You know, I've noticed my kids, all of my kids, are super artistic right now. First off, I don't know if you know, but my daughter's an animator, so she knows how to animate, and she makes amazing artwork and stuff like that. And she's my little anime character, okay? And she is doing some amazing work on her artwork. She's getting very creative. My youngest son is making beats and songs, so he is very good and creative, very creative as well. My second child, which is my middle kid, which is my oldest son, is also writing music as well. So they are all in their spiritual bag. Not their spiritual bag. They are all in their creative bag right now. They are all doing something creative right now. So this I can definitely attest to. I've got 2 Leos and 1 Pisces. At the highest, as far as my kids go. So this is how the energies are impacted them. My youngest son, like I said, he's over there making beats. Okay, I actually shared a video the other day where we shared some of his beats in the video. My other son, he's writing music, and he told me that, you know, he realized that he's discovering things about himself through his artistry, which is amazing, because for a couple of years he was just straight up and down about, he was just straight academic, and I was scared that he wasn't going to be able to tap into his creative side, which is so very important, first for your spiritual growth, as well as just for your personal ability to express yourself and get through difficulty through your expression. Okay, so I wanted to make sure that all of my kids had a healthy way to express themselves throughout their life, and I was concerned that my oldest son wasn't going to get that creative gene, and boom, here he is. He over there writing some fire bars, you know what I mean? My youngest son over there dropping beats, my daughter over there got the artwork, so they can all put the album together, and then boom, it's done, right? So it's wonderful. Moving forward, so this is what we were looking at. We were looking at the Mercury in retrograde, which Mercury is retrograde in Leo from July 18th to August 11th, okay? So expect delays, miscommunications, and invitations to rethink how we speak and share personal truths, especially around mid to late July, when Mercury forms a rare Kazemi exact conjunction with the sun on July 31st, offering a moment of clarity amid confusion. Is that today? That is today. And listen, I'm so glad for this, because honestly, I didn't even think about the fact that it's Mercury retrograde, and I was about to do a contract, a lease. I was getting ready to sign a lease. So I'm going to need to remember to read that lease front and backwards. I'm going to need to remember to do this up and down. I'm going to need to remember to look at every single thing and just be really clear about it. But I'm glad that today was the day where I would get a moment of clarity among the confusion. So I'm very glad to hear that, because honestly, I was doubting myself yesterday. Saturn is also in retrograde starting on July 13th. So Saturn says encourages reassessment of long-term goals, structures, and obligations. It's a time to refine plans and build stronger foundations, particularly impactful for institutions and individuals born under Taurus, Capricorn, and Pisces. Okay, so that means that, you know, you're going to have to take a look at your foundation. What is your foundation? Where is your foundation, you know, stemming from? Should you restructure that? How can you restructure this to make it solid, strong ground so that you can continue on in happiness, success, and all of that good stuff, okay? So that's the Saturn in retrograde. I want to go ahead and expand on each of these, but for now, we're going to read like a quick little cliff note, little quick brief, and then hopefully we can get back into breaking these down on a more detailed scale, okay? Further, we have the Neptune retrograde, which started on July 4th. It invites deep spiritual reflection and a questioning of dreams that may be illusions. Ooh, that's a good one. That is a very good one. Involves separating fantasy from purpose, especially important for creative or vision-driven collective work. That's a good one. I'm just going to leave that there for the moment. I'm not going to interpret that, because that's loaded. This is a loaded interpretation here. So I'm going to let that fester for a little bit. I'm going to let that sit for a second. Chiron is retrograde July 30th. So that was yesterday. Opens a healing window regarding personal and collective trauma, which is very good, actually. But keep in mind, guys, I want to be clear with you guys. Healing does not always mean pretty. Okay? All right, you ever go take a hard shit? It's not pretty, okay? Because you're squeezing and you know what I mean? Like you're making faces and shit like that. It's not a pretty thing, okay? So just keep in mind that sometimes healing can be ugly, okay? So just know that. And sometimes it can, but just make sure that it's not abuse, right? There's a difference between healing, ugly healing, you know, ugly healing and abuse. Okay, so just make sure it's not that, you know, it's not crossing the line to abuse. All right, moving forward. So so Chiron in retrograde opens a healing window regarding personal and collective trauma, urging self-awareness and emotional processing in Aries. Themed areas like courage, identity, and independence. Well, look at that. Look at how the planets align like so. Look at how these alignments are doing. Look at that. Just look at that. Just take a look at it. Moving forward, the Pluto retrograde is ongoing. Okay, because Pluto is the planet of death and rebirth and, you know, just deep sorts of things like that, giving Scorpio vibes, right? Okay, so Pluto retrograde is energy continues to revolve around transformation and power structures in Aquarius, encouraging societal restructuring and reevaluation of control unconscious patterns. It's going to continue going on. Okay, so we have to keep taking a look at that. It's going to keep resurfacing. It's going to keep coming back until it's fixed right. Okay, so that's what we're saying there. Significant planetary alignments affecting the collective. So Mercury, Sun, Cazimi on July 31st. So that's today. The moment Mercury retrograde aligns precisely with the Sun, called the Cazimi, occurs on January 31st, 2025, offering rare clarity into communication issues and creative thinking. Astrologers say this could trigger revolutions, healed misunderstandings, or breakthroughs, especially for Leo and Capricorn rising signs, but potential resonate for all charts. Okay, so this today, specifically today, July 31st, 2025, this is actually bringing in some clarity here for us. So let's move forward. The global context of Jupiter to Saturn influence. While not a specific alignment this month, this ongoing influence of Jupiter in Gemini since May 3rd, 2024, and Saturn's presence in early Aries into Pisces sets the stage for collective shifts. So, excuse me. Just think how black people all were like at the same time was like, nope, we're not doing it. Like, we're taking a rest. That was a collective thing. Like, that literally was a collective shift. Collectively, we all was like, nope, not doing it, right? So this is what it's talking about. It's saying that there are going to be more collective shifts exactly like that, where we all as a group are like, nope, or we all are a group is like, yep, that's what we're going to do. And we're literally, as a collective, are doing the same things. And you know, okay, so that's a good thing. It's setting the stage for more collective shifts. Jupiter steers societal conversations and ideological change, while Saturn imposes structural recalibration, together creating a tension between vision and foundation that defines much of 2025. So basically, in 2025, we've been having a lot of conversations about our community, what it looks like, how it is working, if it's working, why it's not working, what can we do about it not working, how can we change things, what should we change. We've been having collectively a lot of conversations in regards to our community and how we can be better and how we can do this better. And so what this is saying is that this is going to continue, and it's going to get larger and better because of the Saturn recalibration. So basically, not only are we going to be having these conversations, but we're literally going to be boots on the ground, getting in there. You know what I mean? It's time to get in there now. Okay? Perfect storm cluster effect. So retrograde stacking together, Mercury, Saturn, Neptune, Chiron, and Pluto can create a cosmic cluster or a perfect storm of overlapping energies. Astrologers often interpret these moments as having outsized potential for deep transformation, emotional breakthrough, or collective turning points. So this is, listen, if you guys are okay, please let me know, okay? If you guys are not okay, please let me know, okay? Listen, I know sometimes I talk to you guys about trauma dumping and all that stuff like that, but this is not the time to be afraid to speak about something that if you get this thing out, it really helps you to relieve and release and heal. Or it's really not the time for you to like hold in energy that you need to get out, one, and two, sometimes you can talk through the things that you're experiencing or feeling, and that can really help you. Okay, so I want you guys to remember that this is the time to have the conversations that you need to have. If you need to just come and talk to me and just say, hey man, I'm just going through this right now and I need to just talk to somebody, then come and talk to me. Okay, this is not the time for you to be trying to hold it all in and all that shit like that. Although keep in mind there's deep transformation and emotional breakthrough going on. The reason why I say that though is because it can be extremely difficult to try to work through some of these alignments, transitions, and still stay sane and all that good stuff. So hey, listen, I'm just telling you, I'm here if you need a supportive friend, I'm here for you. That's all I'm trying to say. Okay. So yeah, so at a glance, we've got the Mercury in Leo, which is communication review, creative reflections. We got the Saturn going on, which is structures, institutions, long-term goals, and reassessing. So that's, especially as a collective, because there's a lot of collective thing going on, we can be having a lot of conversations about restructuring, institutional situations and all that. Neptune says spiritual clarity, illusions versus authenticity. So what's real and what's fake? Listen, recently I had to do something recently where I was like, you know what? No. I'm not doing this anymore because if I'm being honest with you, that's not me being real with myself. I'm doing this for you. I'm not doing that for me, right? And so recently, one of the things that I really did was kind of speak about my, I had a situation, you know what I mean? And I was speaking a little bit more freely, not really that freely, but a little bit more freely about that situation. And in all honesty, I've come to this discovery that I maybe was not truly accepting and embracing and living in my true authenticity 100% through and through with certain things, right? And so I had to kind of say, okay, well, what does this look like for me to live in my full authenticity within regards to these situations that I was not, okay? So keep in mind, this is the time. Illusions versus authenticity. Where are you? And that's what Neptune is doing. Neptune between July 4th and December 10th is in retrograde, and it's pulling that stuff out of you. It's pulling that fake shit out and putting the real shit back in there. You know what I mean? What's really real? What do you really feel? Take that fucking mask off and stop wearing that bitch, because it did. Take it off. Okay? Moving forward, Pluto says transformation, systems, power dynamics, and reconsidered. Power dynamics reconsidered. Basically, our whole governmental system, I can see this whole thing being totally just like, I think we need to be single for a while. Right? Like, I feel that is potentially coming. Like, I feel like what we're looking at right now, because there's so many changes in government and they're trying to take us back, I think that because we have the Pluto and Aquarius thing going on, there's a transformation there. We got the Neptune in retrograde. There's a illusion versus authenticity there. I think that this is literally going to push us as a collective, and because one of the things that it also said was that we as a collective, right? It did say that collective shifts. So it said that the Saturn's presence in Aries into Pisces sets the stage for collective shifts. So for me, my predictions literally are, and this is just based on the cliff notes of the planetary alignments and just my intuition, my prediction is that collectively we are all literally going to look at this government and be like, no, I think we need to get rid of this shit. Like, I think we need to get rid of this motherfucker. Like, I think we need to just dump this whole system and rethink it. Literally, I feel like that's where we're going towards, and that's where we're heading towards. Moving forward, Chiron is about healing, trauma processing, and identity work in Aries themes, okay? So those are things that we're going to be looking at here with these alignments, these retrogrades that we've got going on. So listen, I think you guys, you strap your boots up. Hopefully you guys are doing well so far. Let's see what else is going on, what this means for the collective. Let's look at what this means for the collective. Pauses and reassesses. So the simultaneous retrogrades make July 2025, a time to slow down, revisit unfinished business, and build clarity before moving forward. Breakthrough potential. The Mercury and Sun Kazi on July 31st, which is today, provides a bright moment amid introspection, ideals for insights, heal dialogue, or creative spikes. We also have the structural and spiritual realignment. So Saturn's retrogrades suggest retooling instruments and commitments. Neptune invites deep spiritual alignment without illusions. Moving forward, we got healing and transformation. So Chiron and Pluto retrogrades point towards processing collective wounds and evolving systems. Practical guidance. Use this time to revisit, reflect, and reframe, especially around creativity, commitment, and inner beliefs. Be mindful with communication, delay signing contracts, and check in with emotional honesty. Dive into inner work, meditation, journaling, dream practices, healing routines around mid to late July. Look for moments of clarity on July 31st, which may spark breakthrough insights or meaningful conversations. Okay. So that's what we have to look forward to with this whole retrograde situation with all of the planets that are in retrograde. Currently, Neptune, Saturn, Mercury, Chiron, and Pluto are in retrograde. And they are all probably handling y'all, okay? So I just want you to know, take it easy. Don't be too hard on yourself. Know that there are going to be a lot of changes, shifts, and breakthroughs that you may be experiencing. So just try not to be too hard on yourself. You know, just know that there are a lot of planetary things going on right now. So that's probably the reason why you're feeling some kind of way, or why things are shifting for you in one way or another. Now, keep in mind, this could also shift like your whole idea on certain things too. So, you know, I would just say, you know, do your best to communicate in healthy ways. You may be experiencing some healing during this time as well. So just remember that healing is not always pretty. Okay, healing your trauma is not always a pretty thing. So just be mindful of that for yourself and for others. And do your best to do those things in a way that will be healthy still. Okay, that's super important. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got here for you guys today. I hope that you guys are doing well. Don't forget to comment down below and let me know how you are faring through this time. If it's difficult for you, let me know down below. If it's easy for you, let me know down below. I will look to see if there are any additional tips that I can add later on this evening, probably. You know, to give a helping hand or whatever for you guys. But, you know, ultimately, take it easy. So, I will talk to you guys in my next video. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell. And I will see you in the next one.